I got a question from a young man that I'm going to answer, and the title is I Can't Relate to Anyone My Age, from Leo. Hey Hamza, my name is Leo and I met you on the UK meetup. So I did a meetup where we all like hiked up this mountain recently. You probably don't remember, I remember you bro, but we talked about the land laws in Scotland. Anyway, I've been having problems with being so young and being on self-improvements. It's not that bad because of this community I've met a bunch of other guys from Scotland and they are all just awesome. But I'm still the youngest there by 3 to 4 years and it's difficult at school because everyone kind of takes the piss out of me. No one attacks me or anything, but I'm iced out and I can't really relate to anyone there. My parents are also concerned for me because I have a 12 ingredient diet and I love my work. They think I should go out and play or be getting into trouble. Mind you, I still go out with my friends. I go camping and I do meetups with the Scotland gang while volunteering for the scouts locally. I love my life, but I'm just worried I'll stay this isolated and lonely forever. I'd just like to sign off by saying that I am eternally grateful for you, bro. Thank you, Leo. So we have a young man, I think Leo's 14. And yeah, you know when I met you, Leo, on the hike that we did, I'm not surprised that this is the problem that you're going through. Because when you're a young man and you're on self-improvement and you're delaying gratification and you've got a 12 ingredient diet because you've improved like what you eat that much, there's not that many people like you just in the world, never mind especially people your age. Obviously, I'm 26, I'm an older guy now, but when I was in school, or at least what I can imagine what school is like now, I can just imagine it's filled with absolute degenerates, people like just young kids, just mindless on their phones. So I always say this to the older guys who are watching, we actually had it so much easier. For the older guys here, 23, 24, 25, we all started fapping at what, like age 11, 12, 13? Like the first time you saw full on like PIV porn was when you were like 13, 14, right? For these young kids, it's more like fucking 7. It's more like 8. I've spoke to 10-year-olds that have got porn addictions. It's a lot harder for the young generation. And then when you add in that social pressure from school to act normal, to, you still want to like seek status in some way. So I totally understand it. You feel lonely. You can't relate to anyone your age. What do you do about that? I think you're doing what you could do, if I'm honest with you. This is the message to Leo, but for anyone else who relates to this. I think if you've taken that step where you've stayed relentless on your self-improvement journey, and then you felt lonely, but you did something about it. You joined these groups, these communities online. Like we have Adonis Gang. It's for free online. You can just go and join. I used to charge for it, but it's for free. Like you can go join this men's community and meet other guys who are like you. I'll put it as the link in the description. If you're doing things like that, and then if you're messaging people that you see are kind of similar to you, and you're even meeting up in real life with them, and you're doing adventurous things like going camping, honestly, like I think that's about as much as you can do right now. The problem that this young man is trying to solve is that he wants more like just randomers his age to be able to relate to him. He wants more of an ability to be able to be friends with basically Jeffries, and that's just not gonna happen. When you get on to self-improvement and you really give it your all, you start to just not relate to the common man. And people can say this is condescending, and like Dale Carnegie could tell us like, oh, but you've always got something to learn from everyone. But the truth is, like, you just don't want to be around people who aren't actually nice and kind. Like, there can be someone who does a bunch of bad habits, but he's a really loving and kind person. Awesome. The problem is the people who do the normal bad habits, basically 90% of the world, they're not actually kind people. They're all AFK. Like when you speak to someone like a normal person, they're literally fucking AFK whilst you speak to them. Their brain can't even focus and stay present with you. And through all the degenerate media that they've been watching and the devil worshipping music, whilst you speak to them, they're thinking negative thoughts about you. They're judging you so harshly, and they don't even mean to. In their authentic soul, these are not evil people, but they have self-harmed so much to the point that now, like, at least this is my opinion, and you can take this or leave this. When I have respect for myself, I don't hang around with lower quality people. When you start to respect yourself, that's the moment that you cut off these old people. This does not mean that you should go and live some lonely life, because we know that that's bad. A part of self-improvement is actually having a social life. It's improving your social skills. On self-improvement, you should have more friends than before. It's just that there's always this chasm, like this transition period for a young man who used to have like friends, basically like half bullies and half absolute simpletons in school. And then you realize you can't be friends with these simpleton bullies anymore. And then there's this block of time where you feel like you've got no friends and no one you can relate to in real life. The beautiful part is that if you cross that chasm, you get to the point in your self-improvement journey where you start to really attract the kind of guys who have been on self-improvement for years, and you start to make like beautiful friendships with them. The issue is, for the young man who's asked this question, and for you, if you're watching this and you relate to this, you'll struggle with this because it is painful to go through that period where you don't relate to anyone in real life. And so through your lack of confidence moments, when you get really lonely and you lose respect for yourself, what are you going to do? You're going to go and hang out with the fucking simpletons again, aren't you? You're going to go hang out with the Jeffreys, and you're going to start doing more bad habits. And you know what's going to happen, unfortunately? You were probably close to meeting a guy who was actually on self-improvements. But when you stink of basically alcohol, when you like, have been going out partying and being a degenerate, or you've been just like, basically like, I don't know, watching whatever the fuck normal people do, like watching movies all day and playing video games and watching porn and donating to like Twitch streamers or some bullshit. When you start acting like normal people, that high quality person that would have been a phenomenal lifelong friend for you wouldn't want to be friends with you. So here you are, the normal life, friends with people from high school. Then you hit self-improvement and you realize that these people are losers. And not only are they like just low quality, losers, Jeffreys, but a lot of them are actually unnice. Like a lot of them are actually really like hurtful people. They constantly insult you. They constantly take the piss out of you, especially when you get onto self-improvement and you make them feel insecure. And so you cut them behind. Then you have this chasm of loneliness where you don't know anyone in real life who's anything like you. Then after that period, that's when you start to attract the people who are like you. Issue is, these people won't actually be friends with you if you're still here. Like if you're trying to cross this chasm whilst bringing the Jeffrey friends with you. By all means, try and save one or two of the Jeffrey friends who you think has got potential and get him onto self-improvement with you. Try and get him into the gym. It almost never works. It literally, if I told you that it worked, I'm sure that you'd try and share my YouTube videos with them, and you'd try, I'd get more views basically. Like if I told you, yeah, you'll get them onto self-improvement. I'm telling you the fucking truth. It's too hard. It's too hard. If I had to guess through my years of doing this like career, less than about 2.5% of guys who have wanted to get a friend onto self-improvement have been successful. Every day I'm asked by young men, like, how do I get my best friend onto self-improvement? I see him wasting his life, and I've tried to give different pieces of advice, and it basically never works. I would benefit if I told you, yeah, share one of my videos to one of these guys and then it'll get them onto self-improvement. I'd get fucking paid from that, but I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not gonna fucking work. Save your time. Don't even bother sharing my videos to some guy who's absolutely fine and content with his life, being a Jeffrey and being a loser. Because what will happen is he'll watch these kinds of videos and then think you're fucking weird, and then they'll start talking behind your back and ripping into you even more. Save yourself. You know how you're in a plane and it's about to crash and the oxygen mask come down? You have barely, don't even bullshit yourself, young man. You have barely put that oxygen mask around yourself. You're still at risk of like succumbing to the bad habits. You still fuck up sometimes, right? So you have barely put the oxygen mask on yourself and you're still trying to help other people. You need to completely focus on your own self-improvement journey, but hopefully you can meet other people who are like this. The problem is the other people who are on self-improvement don't want to be friends with you when you're still associating with absolute Jeffreys. So do you see how there's this weird thing of like, you've got to go through that period of loneliness where then the good people actually start to see more value in you because you're now so different and detached from the Jeffreys. Because if you're friends with just Jeffreys, a good quality person is not going to want to be friends with you. Even as much as you can believe that you've got this chameleon skill where you can pretend to be like the Jeffreys, but then you can pretend to be like an Adonis and be next to guys on self-improvement, it doesn't work that way. So for the young man who's asked this question, my advice to him would be, stay on the path. You're already doing fantastic. Because like, I don't know you that well, Leo. I only met you once. But like, you have really impressed me. And you're only 14 years old. You're going camping with a group of friends. You told me that you go into the cities with them and you go in like, you know, adventure and stuff. And I don't know, there's just stuff I remember about this young man who asked this question. Basically, I met him on a hike. Like I organized a hike for this community. And we had like 120, 30, whatever it was, like 130 guys show up to this mountain. And I brought this Royal Marine with us to hike and, you know, like get all these guys to be fit and everything. And I was speaking to young Leo here about Scotland, because this is where I've maybe moved to. Well, I'm here now for a month, and Leo's from this country in Scotland. And so I was asking him loads of questions. That's why he mentioned in the post, like, oh yeah, we spoke about Scotland and stuff. And as I was speaking to this guy, I was thinking, like, this is like a really intelligent, educated young man. I knew already that he wasn't going to fit in with normal people his age. But I had already kind of thought of like the trajectory of his life. Where, Leo, I'm not going to lie to you, it is going to be painful. It is going to be lonely. For the next few years, most of your friendship and your social life is going to come through the digital world. It's going to come through like parasocial relationships, watching people on YouTube like me, and kind of like feeling like we're friends, which is really fucking sad. But that's still better than hanging out with crabs who are pulling you back and like taking the piss out of you and roasting you and basically trying to negatively reinforce you when you're trying to be healthier. So this is what I would say now to just a general young man who's on self-improvement and realizes he can't relate to anyone in school or work, whatever. You have to let go of the crabs. When you're trying to climb out of the bucket and they're pulling you back in and they're trying to reinforce you to stay back there and to, you know, they tell you just play one more game, just do this. You have to cut off the contact with them. You just got to do it. And the scary part about this is you have to traverse that chasm of loneliness where you're not good enough to be friends with people on self-improvement because they wouldn't want to be friends with you just yet. Even though you think you're really on self-improvement. You're very different from like the Jeffreys, fine. But like for the guys who are on self-improvement, who've been going to the gym consistently for years, they still don't really relate to you because you've only been like on and off consistent for a little while. So you need that, like this is when a period of monk mode can do really well, especially when you're quite young as well, because it's like the people you can be friends with when you're 14 years old in school, if we're honest, they are really unintelligent people. There's not many intelligent 14-year-olds that are like worthy to be friends with. And so I know that like some dork might critique this video and say, oh, well, actually social life's really important. Hamza doesn't get it. Trust me, I get it. Social life is very important. I actually think it's more important than work and making money. My list of priorities are health, relationships, and then work. But that being said, if your pool of social life is going to be with simpletons from school, you're actually better off staying alone and just forcing yourself to not be lonely by basically just going to like online communities and developing almost like a parasocial relationship with the internet influencer that is preaching the kind of message. It doesn't have to be me. This is not me just saying like, yeah, watch my videos and pretend we're friends. We're clearly not going to be like real friends. But that period of monk mode can be really good when the alternative is just to be friends with people who are below your standards. It's kind of like dating a girl who you know isn't that high quality, but you date her just for the sake of like, yeah, but she's someone I could date. It's like, that's not a good way to navigate human relationships. If someone is below your standard, your quality, then don't interact with them. Try and minimize all interactions. Where do you find the people who are then at your standard? You'll find them, in my opinion, first in internet communities. This is the beauty of internet communities, like, servers, basically Discord servers and my free one, which is linked in the description, quick plug. The beauty of those is that these days you can actually find people who are very similar to you. I won't lie to you, you might not find anyone who's like in your city or in your town, but you might find quite a lot of guys who are in your country and certainly in your continent, like in your country, because we'll have like quite a lot of people in my server. So you'll find people who are actually in your country, and maybe there might be one guy who's like in your city that you could possibly go and meet up. And the beautiful part about joining what's called a topic or interest-based community is that you relate to everyone in there. Because imagine this, right? Imagine there was a Discord server for your country. That was it, just like just a Discord server, not about a topic like self-improvement or fitness, but just for your country, right? Imagine if everyone in your country had known about this Discord server. If you joined, it'd be the exact same problem of like most of these people are just kind of losers and Jeffries, right? But when you join a topic/interest-based server, community, online platform, what happens is everyone there is doing the similar things to you. They're all like, basically, let's say it's a self-improvement community. Everyone in there is meditating. Like inside of Adonis Gang, my platform, everyone meditates. Everyone watches my videos. Everyone journals. Everyone goes to the gym. Everyone develops character. Everyone's reading good books. Awesome. Issue is then it's online. So that's two problems. One, you're basically speaking to people who are different continents from you. And also two, it's online. It's kind of like social media. That's also like been proven to be unhealthy for you. I still think that's the better alternative to being completely lonely. I think go and partake in like a good internet community that's based on your interest, and then specifically put in the effort to reach out to the people, be really social, and try and organize an in real life meetup. This is an action step for you, Leo, and also for anyone who's watching this. Join my community for free and go and host your own meetup in there. Say like you're gonna do it in this city. Plan it yourself. Don't just be a dick who's like, oh guys, let's just do a meetup, guys, with no planning from you. You're the leader, you're the initiator now. You tell people, okay, this is the gym that we're gonna go to. Here's the address. I've looked on the website. The gym pass, the day pass is €7 and we can buy it there and then in the gym. We're all gonna meet up at 7 a.m. or 9 a.m., whatever the fuck, and like we're gonna meet there and then we'll get lunch afterwards at this restaurant. Meet us there at 7 a.m. on this day. If you set that and you just go and one other guy turns up and that guy is literally from your city, from your town, and has the same interest as you might have just met a lifelong friend because you took this extra like uncomfortable step of being the initiator. Too many guys, in my opinion, won't take this step and they'll just keep complaining and be like, oh, there's no one who relates to me. There's many people who actually are like you. Let's be honest, we're not actually that unique. I thought I was unique, a few years ago. I really thought because the teachers in school told me, they lied to me and said, oh, we're all unique, we're all special. All I did was just press record on a camera and talk about like my life experience, thinking it was going to be relatable to my younger self and, a few people. Turns out like our life experiences aren't that unique because 2 million people relate to me. You've seen the amount of subscribers I got up to. So if I'm not unique, you're not unique. So the interest that you have, there's people like that, but you've just got to go and find them. You've got to go and join these Discord servers, online communities. And then this is the important part. You can't just be what's called a lurker. A lurker is someone who joins these pages, these servers, communities, these online platforms, but then just kind of reads posts and doesn't do anything. If you do that, I promise you, your mental health is actually going to get worse. It's been proven. You know how that we have that concrete belief that social media is bad for your mental health? That's like a normal belief, right? The real studies, what they actually showed? It's not that just using social media is bad for your mental health. There's a way to use social media which improves your mental health, and there's a way that it drastically decreases it. When you just lurk, when you just scroll, your mental health decreases significantly on all social media, all platforms, Discord servers, communities, everything, when you just scroll. But when you actively use the platform, so for example, if you actively go onto Instagram and send someone a DM, that will actually improve your mental health. If you join one of these like interest-based self-improvement communities and you just read through the posts, as much as I'd want you to join and just, read, it would lower your mental health and it wouldn't really do that much for you. If you joined and then you liked people's posts and then you commented, then you posted your own things, then you posted a picture of yourself in the gym, your mental health actually increases from that, especially then if you message people and you tell them, let's hop on a call, let's meet up in real life. So actively using Discord servers, communities, and then trying to schedule a meetup yourself, not waiting for the cool, confident guy to do it. You become that confident guy who's hosting the meetup. And do it consistently. What's stopping you from doing it every 1 or 2 or 3 weeks, every month? Imagine if every month of your life you did some kind of meetup from these online communities that you joined. Just imagine that. Imagine if every month of the next year, for 12 times over the next year, you organize a meetup from some random community. Do you really think at the end of next year you'd have no friends in real life? Bullshit. Of course you would. So then there's just work to do. Get to it.